Hi, this is Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated. West Virginia defeated Baylor today 27-21 in double overtime in Morgantown, keeping the Bears winless. They are 0-5 all time when they go down country roads. Earlier today, we gave you three keys to watch for in order for the Bears to be victorious. First was the offensive line. We said Charlie Brewer had to be special, and the defense had to be really good, just as good, if not better, than they were last week against Kansas. And the defense was outstanding. They really did a lot to keep Baylor in the ball game. They had 8 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 4 turnovers, if you include the special teams punt fumble turnover. They held West Virginia to 5 of 18 on third down conversions, and they held West Virginia to 14 points and 295 total yards of offense in regulation on the road. That was an impressive feat. They looked gassed in overtime, especially the second overtime after the Baylor turnover. Everything else that Baylor did on the day was pure hot garbage, starting with the offensive line. A lot of players were coming back in their first game. We get that, but they were awful. Holding penalties, false start penalties, and they were dominated and decimated by the West Virginia defensive line. West Virginia defense had 11 tackles for loss, 6 sacks on Charlie Brewer, and forced 2 interceptions, including the interception thrown in overtime when they got pressure on Brewer, hit while he threw it to Ebner, who was open in the end zone, and that looked to adjust the throw slightly there. The rushing game for Baylor was not good. They had 27 total rushing yards on the day. Even if you adjust that for sacks, it wasn't outstanding. They averaged 0.8 yards per carry. Passing yards, they threw for 229 yards. But Baylor, too many penalties, 12 for 86 yards. They missed 3 field goals. They had poor time management at the end of the half, and they didn't get very creative, especially on the play calling, especially when they were in the goal line front, when they turned it over on downs there. It was just not a good day. The good news is that the Big 12 conference team's up for grabs. They can definitely bounce back and respond. The great news is that the defense looks really, really strong, especially missing several key players on that side of the ball. But for the Bears, they have to do something better on offense, especially with the running game, even if that means getting Charlie Brewer or Gary Bohannon more involved there. They just have to figure out on that side. They have a bye week before coming home for homecoming to play Oklahoma State, who looks to be remaining the only undefeated team in the conference. I'm Andrew Miner. This is the Miner Minute. Sick and Bears.